Hi, friends. I miss you guys. I hope you're all doing well. So, today we are going to be doing an art lesson called Solving the Art Puzzle. We're going to be using the bag that has all the really fun wooden pieces. And we are going to think about art today as a puzzle. And we're going to take all these pieces and paint them and glue them on to make a really cool, pretty piece of art. And to help us do that, we are going to use the elements of art and the principles of design. And these can help us just make something that looks pleasing to the eye. The elements of art are line, form, shape, texture, color, space, and value. And the principles of design that hardly fit on our screen here are balance, proportion, contrast and variety, rhythm and movement, emphasis, unity and harmony, and pattern. We won't be using all of these, we will just be using a few. So the first step in solving the art puzzle is painting our background. So you guys should have gotten a white piece of canvas paper. We're going to paint it black. Black or white provides the most negative space, so it's going to give us really good contrast from the wood pieces that we're going to be gluing onto it. It's always good to use a piece of paper underneath your canvas paper so you don't get paint on your desk or your table, because it probably won't come out. So, step one, friends, grab your black paint brushes, your black paint and your paint brushes, and paint your whole canvas black. Now, for the purposes of this video, magic, it's done already. But once you guys finish painting your canvas, set that off to the side and let that dry, because it'll take a minute. Next step, we will be designing our individual pieces. So dump your pieces of wood out and get your colored paint ready. So we are going to paint a few pieces and leave a few pieces unpainted. And this gives us some nice contrast and some nice variety between the natural and the colored wood. So the paint you guys have today is watery, and this is going to help us stain the wood. So that paint's really going to soak into the wood. So this part is fun. Grab a few pieces and just have fun with it. Paint some with more than one coat. I'm going to paint a few with just one coat to give us some nice color, some darker shades and some lighter shades. If you'll remember, color is one of our elements of art. We're going to do green on this one. This one's pretty light, so I think it would be a good idea if you guys have one color that's coming out lighter than the others to paint it once, let it dry, and then go back and do a second coat on it. Feel free to mix the colors as well. Put a layer of green on and then a layer of yellow and see what pops up. In the painting process, I'm also going to play with these little pieces of wood and just kind of see what shapes pop up as I make different shapes with the wood. And if you remember, shapes are also elements of art. We also have in our bags a star and a circle. This is another example of good contrast. All of our other shapes are rectangular, and they are squares. This one's kind of like a little shingle shape, but with a circle and a square, this gives us something new and different for our eye to look at. And this is actually going to be our emphasis. We're going to use these two pieces a little bit later on. Emphasis is a principle of design, if you remember. So let's keep painting, friends. some painting, get some color on these pieces of wood. Just have fun with it. And let's do our star. You can do your star any color you want, but I'm going to paint mine red so that it stands out. And let's do yellow for this little guy. A few drops there. That looks good. The outside kind of looks like a Cheerio. And then, through the magic of pre-painting ahead of time, we have a couple of finished painted pieces. So the cool thing about this is that these paints dry pretty quickly. So once your pieces are all painted and your background is all dried, now comes step 3, which is to just play around with the pieces. And this is my personal favorite step of the project because you really get to have fun with this, and it's like playing with toys. So you'll want to get your black piece out and ready, get your pieces ready, and you'll need your glue ready at hand. So first step is to create the area of emphasis. And like I mentioned earlier about strong contrast, I am going to put this in the center of my piece. So I want the eye to land here. So the first step is to lay it out, and then the second step is to glue it. So we're just going to take some pieces and have some fun with them, mess around with them. So I think what I'm going to do is stand some of my pieces up on their edge like this. Yeah, I like that. So when you have thicker pieces or pieces on the edge, this gives us a 3-dimensional form to kind of shake things up. Form is also an element of art. And I think these are going to fit really well right around my area of emphasis. So, just playing around first. I'll eventually glue those in. That looks good. I like that. And then I'm going to use my red pieces to create some symmetry. And symmetry is important. It just helps the piece look a little more even. You can also use asymmetry too. It's really whatever you want to do. So I like the way these look. So yeah, I'm going to glue some of those there. And then I will also do the same thing. There are enough pieces in your bag to do this part where you can create the same shape on the top left and the bottom right. And I'll just put these in. I should have one more. So you can see how as we're starting to mess around with these pieces, different shapes are starting to form. We're creating space by defining the placement of these pieces. And what's creating this cool space is what's showing beneath it. So another element to add to it is a pattern. So this is another one of our principles of design. This is the rhythm, pattern, and movement principle. So I'm going to alternate. I left some of these unpainted. This gives us some contrast. So we'll do yellow, unpainted, yellow, unpainted, yellow. Do you like the way those look? So get those glued down. And then what I want to do with mine is create, I think, 4 distinct quadrants here. And it's cool. Your pieces do not all have to fit perfectly on your piece of paper. I'm going to let that hang off. And I like the way this looks too. I'm going to mix these up. Do a little green, some that are unpainted. That's not going to fit there. This is the puzzle part of it. Once you get something in place you really like, then you can take the other pieces and see what fits and see what doesn't. This unintentionally became a Christmas picture because I used red and green. It's also important to keep some areas open so that the eye has a place to rest. So I'm going to do that down in this corner just by scooting these over. And we don't want it to look too busy. So we'll put this there, and this is an open spot here. I'd also like to create some symmetry, so since this bottom left is open, I'm going to keep the top right open as well. You do not have to use all your pieces. Ooh, this guy doesn't want to stand up. And this part's really fun, so have fun with this part. Ooh, I like that. I like what just happened. I will glue that on its side. That was a fun thing. That's one of the cool things about art. Sometimes things just happen and it turns out they look really good. So I'm going to glue that on its side. So as you can see, there is something starting to form here. So now, when it comes time to glue, I recommend gluing. Take a look at what you did and glue one piece at a time. Don't move all of your things around. Don't take them off. Don't take more than one piece off at a time to glue them, because it's very likely that you will forget where your pieces were, which is fine. You can just start back over. But if you really liked something and you can't remember where it was on the paper, that can be sort of frustrating. So glue these down. Just do a few so you can get the general idea. Glue one of these. And if you guys decide to glue anything up on its straight edge, press it down, press, 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 press. Elmer's glue is amazing stuff, but it does need just a little bit of help by applying a little bit of pressure. All right, friends, so it's up to you at this point to make some beautiful art. I would love to see how your final pieces turn out. If you have any way to upload them to the Max Facebook or email them, that would be awesome. I can't wait to see what you guys do. And I will see you next week for more fun. Bye!